Hello, today's tutorial video we will learn how to prepare the financial statements without the help of pivot table on predetermine income statement pro forma balance sheet by the help of Sumif formula. First appropriate step is always to reconfirm or re-verify the trial balance, either the trial balance is perfectly balanced or not. For that, we have to add up both debit and credit sides to find out that the debit and credit sides are equal or not. In our case, our trial balance is perfectly balanced. Now, as the income statements is predetermined, so it is appropriate to make a literature of the financial statements. Here in our case, we have net sales, and there is a bifurcation of net sales also given that net sales comes after sales revenue minus sales return. Then there is a cost of sales, and luckily, the bifurcation of cost of sales is also given, where the purchases, freight in and import duties or factory wages are there. Then there are the values of the closing stock is also given. You can see that the operational expenses and selling and administration expenses are also given, but there is a no bifurcation given in terms of operational expenses and selling and administration expenses. It means that we need to make a little modification of our trial balance in order to find out the items of operational expenses and selling and administration expenses given in our trial balance. And this is important in order to give a smooth path for our Sumif formula. As due to the time constraint, I have already modified my trial balance and added 3 more columns. One is element of accounts. As we all know that there are 5 elements of accounts like assets, liability, owner equity, expenses, and revenue. Then the another column is sub account. Sub account, as we know that the assets are bifurcated into current assets and non-current assets, like liabilities are bifurcated into current liabilities and long-term liabilities. Then we have expenses, and expenses are bifurcated into direct expenses and indirect expenses, whereas indirect expenses can be bifurcated into operational expenses and selling and administration expenses. In our case, as we are given with the sub accounts, but we don't know about the relevant account of the operational and selling and administration expenses. That's why we added this sub account in our trial balance to find out the items of the selling and administration expenses and operational expenses. After sub accounts, we have another column that is labeling financial statements. Means if there is a cash in hand, it comes under the assets, and sub account of that assets is current assets, and current assets is always the item of the balance sheet. Likewise, we have purchases of raw material, and purchase of raw material is expenses. Which expense? It is a direct expense, and direct expense is always the part of the income statement under cost of sale. So we have a rent expenses. Rent is always expense, and it's come under selling and administration expenses. Then we have a salaries and wages expenses. It's come under selling and administration expenses. Although there are factory wages also given, and factory wages is always indirect in nature. So I have already modified my trial balance, because today's agenda is to prepare the financial statements without the use of pivot table by the help of some formula. So in next video, I will explain the trial balance and their sub accounts. But in today's video, our agenda is to prepare the financial statements by the help of some formula. So we will be intact with our agenda today. Okay, as our trial balance has been modified. Now we use we are going to use some formula to prepare our financial statements. Now, first we have to understand the Sumif formula. As I insert the formula Sumif, it is asking about the three criteria. First of all, it is asking about the criteria range. It means the formula is asking from where you want to check your criteria. So our criteria range is in our trial balance where the title of accounts are given. So select our title of accounts and put the comma. Now, second condition is activated, which is asking about the criteria. It means what criteria, which items amount you want to know. I want to know about the sales revenue. So I will select the sales revenue as my criteria and put the comma. As I put it comma, the third criteria is activated, which is asking about the sum range. Means I'm asking about the figures of sales revenue, but the formula is asking my question from where I can find out the sales for given criteria. So again, I will go to the trial balance and select the credit side of the trial balance because sales always comes under the credit side. And then bracket close, hit enter, sales revenue has been calculated by the formula. Our second item is sales return. I can drag this formula down, but you can see there is a zero value because I have given the formula the range of credit side, but sales return always come on a debit side. For that, I will remove the third criteria, that is a sum range, and select the sum range from the trial balance on a debit side because sales return always comes on a debit side. Select and hit enter. Okay, let's try again. Sum if criteria range is our counter item of the trial balance. Next is asking about the criteria. Criteria is the sales return allowances, and then asking about the sales sums range, and sums range will come under debit side. And hit enter. Now the sales return value has been calculated. As the sales return, it comes under the debit side. We can copy the formula and paste in front of purchases return, but you can see that the formula is calculated on 15,000 amount because we have selected the criteria is the sales return. Now change this criteria to purchase of raw material, hit enter, and drag this formula down. Now here the part comes. For that we made a later modification in our trial balance because we want to know the operational expenses and selling administration expenses. Before we need to know is there any other income is there. For that we again put the sum if formula. Sum if criteria range will be the account title, hit comma, select the criteria is again other income, and select the sum range, and sales always comes under the credit side. Select the range, hit enter. Now you can see 6,000 is calculated. Now this is where we made modification to our trial balance. Put the Sumif formula, select the criteria range. Now criteria range has been changed. From title of accounts title, now criteria range comes under sub accounts because we have bifurcated the expenses into selling and administration expenses and operational expenses. So we have selected our criteria range under sub account, hit comma, select the criteria. Criteria is operational expenses, hit comma, and now select the sum range, and sum range is on a debit side. Hit enter. We have to find out that we have operational expenses in our trial balance or not. So there's no operational expenses is given at that time. Okay, that's why there is a zero value. Okay, drag this formula down and you can see there is a selling and administration expenses of 195,000 dirham. So the profit before interest and taxation is 609,000 dirham. And how the income tax 9% is calculated? For that, we have already formula placed to find out the income tax at right 9%. Okay, again, for understanding, I will put the formula if this range less than or equal to 375,000 dirham, then zero. Because we know that the corporate tax is 0% on the amount 370 equal to or less than 375,000 dirham. The formula will be if our profit before interest and taxation is less than 375,000 dirham, then zero. Otherwise, this amount minus 375,000 dirham means the amount exceeding from 375,000 dirham will be calculated at 9% income tax. Calculated now, you can see the income tax is calculated by 25,060 dirham only. The net profit after tax comes is 587,940. For balance sheet, the same principle will be applied. We have the bifurcations of the current assets are given. For that, we will again use the Sumif formula. Sumif, select the criteria range as we are computing the balance of the assets, and asset always becomes on the debit side. Select the debit. Sorry. We have to select the title of accounts titles. That is our range. What is our criteria? Criteria is cash in hand. Put the comma, and where is our sum range? Sum range is on our debit side because it is a asset. Hit enter. Now our cash in hand is 194,000. Drag this formula down. So our non-current asset is 1.8 million dirham. Now we sum if criteria range account title, at comma, what is our criteria? Criteria is to find out the carrying amount of office furniture and fixture. At comma, where is our sum range? Sum range is on our debit side. Hit enter and drag the formula. So our total assets is 2.08 million. Now we will find out our liabilities. For that, we will use again some formula. Criteria range is our accounts title in our accounts title. Hit comma, select the criteria. Criteria is provision for the doubtful debts. And from where we will find it, we will find as we are looking for the value of the liabilities, so liabilities value will always be on the credit side. We have VAT input tax recovery because we selected the credit side. VAT input recovery will always become on a debit side because it is treated as asset for us. For that, we will change the criteria range from debit side to credit side. Income tax 9%. From this time, our criteria range is income statement. Select the income title of account titles from income statements. Criteria is income tax. Now the sum range is from our income statement, and that is again loan from the bank. The amount is given us in our trial balance, so the criteria range will be in our trial balance under the accounts title. Hit comma, select the criteria. Criteria is loan from bank. Now select the sum range. Hit enter. Now what is our total capital? For that, we will again use the Sumif formula, select the criteria range. Again, from trial balance under the accounts title, select the accounts title, select the criteria. Criteria is partner's capital, and select the sum range. And because this is a capital and will come under the credit side of the trial balance. Enter and drag the formula down till retain earning. Partners drawings is 0 because we have selected the credit side, but drawings is always come under the debit side. So we will change our sum range from credit side to debit side. Hit enter. We will put the formula again, sum if criteria range. Select the account titles. Hit comma. Select the criteria that is partners drawings. Hit comma. Where is our sum range? Drawings always comes under the debit side. Hit enter. Now the profit after tax. Profit after tax will come from income statement. The range will be in the income statement. Criteria is profit after tax, and sum range this. So we have completed our trial balance and balance sheet with the help of Sumif formula, and it is now automated. Whenever we made any changes to our trial balance, our income statement will be changed. For example, you can see the profit after tax is 587,940 dirham, and we have, if we change our bank charges from 2,000 to 4,000, you can see the effect has been made automatically in our income statement. Thank you.